Hello students, so today we are going to discuss the two parts that are remaining in plant kingdom chapter 3. Okay, one is the gymnosperm and another one is the angiosperm. To start with gymnosperm. So these plants which you can see, all these plants are examples of what? The gymnosperm. Okay, so this is Cedrus. Cedrus, this plant you can find, this is cone which the Cedrus is having, somewhat needle like leaves they have. This is Pinus, again a gymnospermic plant. Okay, and thereafter this is Cycas, a gymnospermic plant. Yeah, we would have seen mostly for ornamental purposes and all they used to grow these plants in the outdoor as well as indoor decoration purpose. They used to use these plants, right? So in plant kingdom, what and all we have covered? We have already covered algae, then we covered bryophytes, then we covered pteridophytes. Now we are moving on to the next topic, that is gymnosperms. Okay, now gymnosperms, they are called naked characteristics. First is the characteristics. They are naked seeded plants. What do you mean by naked seeded plants? Seed is not covered by something, seed is just exposed, then we refer to as naked seeded plant. Seed is exposed. What do you mean by seed is exposed? Which means that the seed is not covered by the fruit. The fruit is not covering the seed remains open. Then that condition we call it as what? The naked seeded plants. Okay, ovules, that is the ovules, the female part is remaining exposed. That's why it is referred to as what? The naked seeded plants. Their size, when you are seeing, they will be medium size, not like herbs to some extent, like shrubs, they will be medium size. All you can find very, very tall trees are all examples of what? The gymnosperms. Roots, they have an association that is called as mycorrhiza. I told you, fungi, they inhabit the roots of these plants, gymnospermic plants, and the fungi provide nutrition to the gymnospermic plants. They absorb sodium, potassium and all from the soil and they give it to the plant. Like that they are in close symbiotic associationship. What do you mean by symbiotic? Both are benefited. Fungus is getting the food from the plant, the roots of the plant, the gymnospermic plant, and what is fungi doing? The fungi is giving nutrients by absorbing from the soil, they are giving it to the plant. So this type of association, symbiotic relationship, we learned lichen is a symbiotic relationship between algae and fungi. Mycorrhiza is again a symbiotic relationship between a fungi and a root of the gymnospermic plant. Okay, then you can find a type of roots present. What is that type of roots called? That type of roots is called as corolloid root. You can find this is the corolloid root like structure. So this structure we call it as what? The corolloid root. Now what is corolloid root? The roots, when you are seeing, they are having association with blue green algae, cyanobacteria. So what is cyanobacteria? Other name is what? The blue green algae. The blue green algae are present and the cyanobacteria, blue green algae, what is the role of the blue green algae? They are helping in fixing atmospheric nitrogen to the plant. So like that, with the help of fungi as well as with the help of blue green algae, the roots of the plants of this gymnospermic family are benefited. They live in close association so that the plant is benefited. They are getting the proper nourishment as well as nutrients from these algae, or they are getting it from what? The fungi. So corolloid roots are in association with cyanobacteria, that also we can see. Roots which are having association with fungi also we can see, that is mycorrhiza. Okay, leaves are well adapted to withstand, they are needle like. Okay, so since they are needle like in nature, they can withstand the huge amount of variation, fluctuation because of temperature or humidity or wind and all. They can withstand, they will not easily break up. If it is exposed, the wind is blowing, then it is possible to break it up. So when it is needle like leaves, then what will happen? Whether they will be breaking up? No, it cannot be breaked up. They can easily pass away, isn't it? So that's why the leaves are so adapted that they can withstand adverse, extremely harsh environmental condition. That is the next thing. Now another one characteristics of this gymnosperm is that they are having a thick cuticle and a shrunken stomata. So if you are seeing a leaf, this is a leaf means what is a cuticle? You have seen the waxy coating. So when you are seeing a leaf, you would have seen a shiny layer of the leaf, isn't it? The under surface, that shiny layer will not be there. So over the surface, upper surface, you can find the shiny layer is present. Why the shiny layer is present? Because the shiny layer is present because of the presence of a substance called as cutin. What is the substance? It's a type of a molecule called as cutin is present, and this cutin is somewhat oily like secretion that is coating the leaf surface, upper epidermis of the leaf. That's why they are shiny in nature, and this cuticle play a major role in preventing transpiration. What is transpiration? The water may move out of the leaves, isn't it? So this cuticle, when it is present on the upper surface, so this is the upper surface of the leaf and this one is the lower surface of the leaf. So upper surface, you can find what? You can find the cuticle. What is the cuticle doing? They are preventing transpiration. Extreme loss of water is not allowed. They are preventing the transpiration rate, reducing the transpiration. Loss of water by the leaves is being reduced. Okay, so that is number one. Second is that you can also find shrunken stomata. Now what do you mean by shrunken stomata? Stomata also, you know, openings, hole like structures which are present on the lower epidermis more, upper epidermis less. Now you will imagine this is a leaf, okay, cross section of a leaf. This is the upper epidermis cell and this one is the lower epidermal cell. So in the lower epidermis, what is present? The stomatas are present. Now this stomata, if you are seeing the lower epidermis, if the stomata are present here, then what will happen? They are in direct contact with the atmosphere, isn't it? So if the temperature is more, then water from the stomata, since it's an opening, can easily go out, because here the temperature is more. So since the temperature is more, the water is being converted into vapor and it is moving, wind is taking it away. So here the water concentration is less. So water from inside of the leaves will be moving out of the stomata and it will come out. So like that, transpiration will become more. The plant will lose much amount of water. In order to prevent that one, they are having what sort of stomata? They are having shrunken stomata. What do you mean by shrunken stomata? You can find this is shrunken stomata. So the epidermis is going inside. You can find the stomata is present over here and then the epidermis is coming like this. Okay. Now what happens? The stomata is not in direct contact with the atmosphere. What is present in between? You can find it is going inside. Now when it is inside, so what happened? They are not directly dependent on the outside change in temperature. So to some extent it will be cooler, okay, so that they will not lose much amount of water. So this is again a good characteristics of what? The gymnosperm. Presence of cuticle. They will not allow the water to move out easily because it is an oily secretion. Second is that the stomata are shrunken, present inside, so that they will not directly have contact with the atmospheric changes, so that the transpiration rate will be less. Okay, so these are the two characteristic feature of again what? The gymnosperms. So hope all these characteristic features are clear, right? Yes. So this one is cycas, we have discussed already, and this one is spinous leaves. You can find needle like leaves. Okay, this is coralloid roots for reference. Now gymnosperms are having heterosporous nature. What do you mean by heterosporous? Heterosporous means the gametes, the male gametes, the spores, male spore as well as the female spore that is produced is not the same. One is bigger in size called as megaspore, somewhat bigger, and another one is microspore. They are smaller in size. So spores are heterosporous. What is the opposite of heterosporous? It is homosporous. Spores are of same size. But here when you are saying it is heterosporous, which means that one is big and other one is small. So spores are different in structure. That's why we give the term as what? Heterosporous. So there are two types of spores produced. One is megaspore, the female, and microspore, the male. Spores are produced where? In special structures called as sporangia. In pteridophytes also we have learned. In sporangia it is produced. And where is the sporangia present? It is present on the leaves. Where it is present? It is present on the leaves. So you can find in the leaves only, you can find what? The cone like structures are present. This is the male cone of the pinus. Okay. So you can find this one is the female cone of the pinus. Okay. So you can find where this spores are present. These spores are present on the leaves, So the spores bearing leaves, we call it as what? Sporophylls. What do we call them? Sporophylls. The leaves on which the spores are borne, the sporangias are present. Okay, arranged spirally along a long axis. You can find they are arranged spirally like this. They are arranged, right? So spirally. So this type of arrangement on the leaves forming cones is a characteristic feature of what? The gymnosperms. Okay. So spores are produced in sporangia. The sporangia are present on the sporophylls. What is sporophylls? It is the leaves. Okay, which are arranged in a spiral manner, forming a cone-like structure. They are forming a cone-like structure, right? So this is the characteristic feature of what? Gymnosperms. Now spores, I told you there are two types of spore. One is microspore and another one is megaspore. Microspores are produced where? In microsporangia. Where it is produced? In microsporangia. Megaspores are produced in megasporangia. Microsporangia, where it will be present? It will be present on a particular leaf-like structure called as what? Having that microsporangia, those leaves we call it as what? Microsporophylls. So this is male cone. So this is what? Microsporophylls, which are having the male cone like structure. So that one we call it as what? Microsporophyll leaves. Okay, they are having the male cones. Now megaspores are produced in where? In the megasporangia. Where it is produced? In the megasporangia. This is the female cone. Okay, so they are produced in a leaf-like structure called as what? Megasporophyll. Okay, and that is a female cone. The female cones are much bigger compared to what? The male cones, right? Diagram you have seen, this is Pinus female cone and this one is Pinus male cone, right? And if you are taking a cross section like this and seeing it, these are the leaves. Okay, these are the leaves. On that you can find what is present. The cones are present. So this is the leaf. The red ones, when you see, yeah, fine, I will show you which is the leaf, sporophyll. So the red one which you are seeing, this one is a leaf. Okay, this one is a leaf. This one is a leaf, right? And the other one, what you see, the yellow ones I am showing you, this one, this is the sporangium. This is the sporangium which is containing the ovule. So this is the sporangium. The big structures are called as what? The sporangium. Microsporophylls, you see, this is the leaf, microsporophyll leaf. On that what is present? The spores are present. So the dots are spores. Okay, so the sac is called as microsporangia. In that microspores are present. So this is regarding what? The structure of the male cone of Pinus, right? Now moving on to the life cycle or alternation of generation. Here also you can find sporophytic stage as well as the gametophytic phase. So both the phases are there. One is sporophytic and another one is what? Gametophytic. Okay. So moving on to the sporophytic and gametophytic, how it is taking place. Listen very carefully. A very important part. Okay. So plant body is a sporophyte. This is Pinus, right? They are producing two types of sexual characters. One is the male as well as one is the female, right? The male is the female cone and this one is the male cone, right? So the female cone, when you are seeing one, if you are taking, you have the megasporophyll wherein the ovule or the megasporangium is present, isn't it? So ovule, the megasporangium, megasporocyte is present. So this is the megasporangium which is containing the ovule, and the covering, you can find this covering, we call it as integument. The covering of the ovule, the sac, we call it as what? We call it as integument. Okay, and here when you are seeing, this is the male, and the male, when you are seeing, again they are also produced where? In the microsporophyll, in the microsporangium you can find what? The microspores are produced, isn't it? So these are the pollen grains, microsporangium, okay, with the pollen grains and all will be present. Microsporozoite, I call them as what? Microsporozoite. Here I call it as ovule megasporozoite. These megasporozoite, microsporozoite which are present in the microsporangium, these cells will undergo meiosis. Okay, so what is meiosis? You know, in meiosis what is actually happening? From 2n, the chromosome number is reduced to n, right? So microsporozoid, when you are seeing, they are undergoing producing microspores which are haploid in nature. Again, this megasporoangium containing megasporozoid is undergoing haploid division. So how many are produced? 4. So how it is produced? I told you in meiosis, from 1 2n cell, 2n is produced. Again this 2n will produce 2n and this 2n will produce another 2n. So like that, how many haploid cells will be produced? 4 haploid cell from 1 diploid cell we will be getting it. In detail in the cell cycle we will learn. As of now, you should just know that while meiosis, from 1 cell I am getting how many haploid cell? I will get 4 haploid cells. So 4 haploid means what? N. Okay. So from 1 to n I will be getting 4 haploid cells. Like that, 4 haploid cells are produced. Here also many microsporozoids are there and they will be producing many microspores, all haploid. Okay. So this is also haploid. In this, when you are seeing, what is actually happening is that these microspores will germinate, they will be producing pollen grains. What they are going to produce? Pollen grains. They are otherwise called as, structurally the microspores will change and they are otherwise called as what? Microgametophyte. And this one is also the ovule, when you are seeing, they are also developing a sac-like structure called as archegonium megagametocytes. Okay, inside that only the egg cell is present, right? Now what is happening? These pollen grains produced from the microspores, they are having wings. Okay, so the wind is usually the medium for transmission of pollen grains from one male part to the female part. Now the pollen grains is going and falling on the female part. Okay, so when it is going and falling on the female part, the pollen grains, the nuclei which is present, the sperms, actually the nucleus which is present inside the pollen grain, they are the one who is going to go and fuse with the egg. Okay, so the nucleus which is acting like a sperm inside the pollen grains goes and fuse with the egg. And what is taking place? Fertilization is taking place, resulting in the formation of zygote. Again, this is 2, and the zygote is converted into seed which is storing the food materials, and the seeds, when they fall on suitable substrate, a medium, soil, they will germinate and they form a new tree again. So like that the thing will be continued. So this is the life cycle of what? The gymnosperm. I will repeat. One is the sporozoid 2n condition. In that, seed cones are present, that is the female. Male cones are present, pollen cones we call. The seed cones are having the ovules, the pollen cones are having the pollen sac. Okay, so this one will bear microsporophyll on the microsporangia on the microsporophyll. This megasporophyll, they will be bearing what? The megasporangium. The megasporozoid or megamicrosporozoid are the cells which are going to give rise to what? Microspore as well as the egg. Okay, so the from the microsporangium, what will be produced? Microsporozoid. From the ovule, what special cell will be produced? Megasporozoid. This megasporozoid and microsporozoid will undergo meiosis, forming what? Haploid microspores and haploid egg. Okay, now this microspore as well as this haploid egg will turn into a reproductively active structures called as pollen grains with wings. Okay, and this female will develop sac-like structures called as archegonium, whereas what is present? The egg cell, haploid egg cell is present. Now what will happen? The pollen grains will go and fall on the female part. The pollen grains, from there the nucleus will go and fuse with the female egg. When they are fusing, what they are forming? They are undergoing fertilization and they are forming zygote. What they are forming? Zygote. These zygote, when you are seeing, will undergo division and form seed. That seed, when it is falling on suitable medium like soil, they germinate into a new sporophyte and the life cycle is continued. Hope it's clear. This is regarding your gymnosperm, right? And any more points missed out? I will just check it out. Okay. One more thing which you have to learn for one word is that male and female cone sometimes may be present on the same tree. Like in Pinus, both the male as well as the female on the same tree you can find. But in case of cycas, male is different. The tree itself is different, which is having only male cones they will have. and the female trees will have only female cones. Okay, in that case only cross pollination is possible. Pollen grains from one cycle should go to the another cycles, then only pollination is possible. But in case of Pinus, since it is present on the same tree, you can find self is also possible. The same pollen grain from them can go and fuse with the female part and they can produce seeds, right? So this is regarding your characteristic features of gymnosperm and the life cycle of gymnosperm. Next we are moving on to the angiosperm. Hope gymnosperm is clear.